look at taking some of the primitive data types that we've done in previous lessons and do some basic math with them. We're going to talk about the 5 math functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the modulus operator. So let me go ahead and these are the projects we've created in the past. So I want to create a new project here. So we're going to go to File, New, Project. We're going to pick that Java project. And we're going to call this Week 1 Calculator. Calculator, if we can spell that correctly. Make sure I have the Java 8 selected as my JRE. And go ahead and click Finish. And then I'm going to go ahead and create my class in here. New class. And my package I'm going to stick with is the CST105N dot Week 1 or W1 and D1, all lowercase, and my class name is going to be start. This one will have the public static void main in it, so it's going to be our starting class. I'm going to go ahead and click finish on that one, and I'm going to make one more class in here, and we're going to call that one calc. We'll just call it calc, keep it simple. So no public main in this one. And we can go ahead and finish, and we now have 2 classes in our math piece there. So let's go ahead and make a method inside of our calculator class. We're going to call it public because we want to get access from outside this class. We are not going to return anything. We'll talk about return types later on. We'll say do math addition. Okay. And to keep this simple, we are going to just go ahead and create int a equals, and we'll give it 13, and int b, and we're going to go ahead and make that 6. And we are going to system out the values. Let's go ahead and put equals there. And we're going to do the 2 plus. We're going to do A plus B. And we have 2 closing parentheses on that. We got to close the first one and the second one. So now we have this method here. It's not static. So to access it from our start, we need to make an object of calc. New calc. And then we can use that object that we created called C to use the Eclipse. Eclipse is going to pop up our various options. There's do math addition. Everything looks good. No red underlines in our start. No red underlines in our do math. So we can go ahead and give that a run. And equals 19, which does make sense because if I look at the numbers I'm adding together, 13 plus 6 equals 19. So let's go ahead and copy a couple more here down. And we are going to do A minus B, A times B, and A divided by B. So the plus sign is obviously addition, the minus sign is subtraction, the asterisk is multiplication, and the A is division. Let's go ahead and try to run that. Run over here. Okay. So there you go. 13 minus 6 is 7. 13 plus 6 is 19. 13 plus 7 is 78. And division, notice it's giving me an integer value there. So if I go back to my code here, when I do my math there, I'm doing integer math. I'm taking an integer, dividing by an integer, which is giving me an integer value there. If I do want to get the double value, which is the decimal, I can do that with A divided by B. And then if I print out the D down here, rather than doing the math inside the integer math, whoops, no, I'm going to go ahead and do D, and then run my program again, you notice now I get 2.0, which still is not right in that case, because 13 divided by 6 should be 2 point something else, a little bit different. So let's go ahead and cast these. When we talked about casting there, we'll go ahead and cast one of these as a double. I don't think we need to do both of them there. So we'll go ahead and run that. There we go. Now we have a decimal point that goes into it. So if you do not specifically tell it that you want to do something other than integer math, it's going to do the integer math and then put it into doubles. So 13 divided by 6 is integer is 2. And even though I'm saying store is a double, the 2 is coming out the other side. I have to have one of these be a double. The other option would have been to do a decimal point here and change the data type for that particular piece. So one way or the other, I have to tell it that I want to do double math, not integer math. So that's the basics of that piece. Let me go ahead and do one more here. Public. This time I'm going to make this one static because I like to switch back and forth here. Void, and we'll call do math modulus. Modulus. I'm not sure how to spell modulus, but that's going to be close enough. And let's go ahead and give it another one. We'll go ahead and do int 6 and or int a equals, let's do 12, and then int b equals 5. And this time we're going to system out the modulus. Modulus is a fun one if you want to try to do like every other or every third or something like that, because what it do is it gives the remainder. So it's going to take 12 divided by 5, and it's not going to give you 2. Well, it is going to give you 2. It's going to be the remainder. Let's go ahead and change this to 13. So 13 divided by 5 is 2 with a remainder of 3. So this a modulus b is going to give us the 3 value. So let's go ahead and run that. Oh, what did we forget to do, everybody? We forgot to call the right one here. So now remember I made this static. So this is a static method. So I don't use the object I created. I use the class name. And then I find the objects or the methods that Eclipse is saying. I have access to do math modulus. So I don't need to use the object. It's a static version of it. And there's my equals 3 for the modulus part that goes along with it. And just to see if I can comment out these, just to show that it's only calling the modulus one. There's the remainder 3. So those are the very basic math functions you can do. String is a little odd because you can do some math with that, even though it's not what you would expect. It's more of a concatenation of adding letters together or adding words together. But from a primitive data type, the integer math, the double math, all the number math, it's pretty similar to those various pieces. But feel free to try out what you have available in those particular pieces. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next lesson.